Naoya Inoue, known to fans around the world as the Monster, has built a career defined not only by his extraordinary skills but also by his uncanny ability to punish those who doubted or disrespected him. Throughout his rise from the lighter weight classes of Japan to becoming a global superstar, his story has been one of ruthless efficiency, breathtaking precision, and an aura of menace that follows him in every ring he steps into. Inoue is a rare figure in boxing, an athlete whose calm, almost humble demeanor outside of combat belies the ferocity he unleashes once the first bell rings. His opponents often come in brimming with arrogance, dismissing his size or his background, only to leave broken, bewildered, and often humiliated. What follows is a journey through some of the most memorable moments in which Naoya Inoue turned disrespect into motivation, silenced ridicule with violence, and obliterated those who dared to underestimate him. When he moved up to the bantamweight division, Inoue chose Jamie McDonnell of Britain as his first opponent. The build-up to the fight was already flavored with dismissiveness from the taller British fighter, who mocked the Japanese boxer's name and claimed he barely knew who Inoue was. To him, Inoue seemed like a smaller fighter who had no business stepping up to face him. McDonnell towered over the Japanese champion and assumed his range and jab would keep Inoue at bay. Yet arrogance can be the quickest path to defeat in boxing. The moment the fight began, Inoue wasted no time proving his point. He stalked McDonnell with calm aggression, cut the distance with frightening ease, and soon sent him reeling backward into the ropes. Just minutes into the first round, a thunderous left hand signaled that McDonnell had underestimated not only Inoue's power but also his speed, timing, and accuracy. Within seconds, the fight was all but over. A brutal barrage of punches left the British fighter defenseless. McDonnell, who once said he could not even pronounce Inoue's first name, was forced to learn it in the most painful way possible. The referee stepped in, and the contest was stopped inside one round. Inoue's arrival at bantamweight was not just a statement, it was a warning to the entire division. Following his demolition of McDonnell, Inoue set his sights on the American market. Despite already establishing himself as a champion in Japan, there remained skepticism from boxing audiences in the United States, who doubted whether his dominance overseas could translate against American fighters. His opponent for his U.S. television debut was Juan Carlos Payano, a tough veteran who was confident that Inoue was overrated. Payano dismissed the Japanese fighter's record, claiming that most of his victories came against smaller, less competitive fighters. He was convinced that he could expose the flaws of a fighter who had yet to be truly tested. The fight began with Inoue calmly asserting himself behind a stiff jab. His composure was unsettling. Even in the opening seconds, he looked entirely in control, reading Payano's movements and setting traps. Then, almost out of nowhere, Inoue unleashed a thunderous right hand that crashed through Payano's guard and landed flush. The shot was so fast, so clean, and so perfectly placed that Payano collapsed immediately. The crowd in the arena gasped, then roared as they realized the fight was already over. It had taken Inoue just 70 seconds to silence his American critics. The knockout was replayed countless times on highlight reels, a violent reminder that Inoue's power was no regional illusion. He was a global force. Another memorable victim of Inoue's merciless rise was Emanuel Rodriguez. The Puerto Rican champion entered the ring with an unblemished record and an iron chin that many believed could not be cracked. He and his camp exuded confidence leading up to the fight, and during the pre-fight events, his trainer even shoved Inoue's father, Shingo, who also serves as his trainer. The act was a brazen display of disrespect, but Inoue remained calm, silently vowing to deliver his revenge in the ring. When the fight began, Rodriguez tried to pressure Inoue, meeting him in the center and trading shots. For the first time in years, Inoue appeared to have found someone willing to stand and fight with him. Yet appearances can be deceiving. Inoue patiently studied Rodriguez's rhythm, then unleashed a series of devastating combinations. In the second round, a perfectly timed left hook sent Rodriguez crashing to the canvas for the first time in his professional career. He staggered to his feet, but Inoue smelled blood. Moments later, a crushing body shot folded Rodriguez over in agony, his face etched with the look of a man realizing his aura of invincibility had been shattered. The referee counted him out, and Inoue stood victorious after just 2 rounds. The supposed uncrackable chin had been smashed, and Rodriguez's team was left speechless. Inoue had not only defended his title but also avenged the insult to his family in the most ruthless way possible. The years that followed saw Inoue continue to dominate the bantamweight division, culminating in his move to super bantamweight to challenge Stephen Fulton, the reigning WBC and WBO champion. Fulton was regarded as one of the most skilled fighters in the sport, an undefeated American with a reputation for technical mastery and grit. Leading up to the fight, Fulton spoke with a certain swagger, suggesting that Inoue's rise was impressive mainly because he was Japanese and that he himself had faced fighters of similar caliber throughout his career. Fulton was considered a slight favorite, with many analysts predicting a close, back-and-forth contest. Yet once again, Inoue had other plans. From the opening bell, his jab pierced through Fulton's defense like a spear. The Japanese star moved with grace and precision, dictating the pace of the fight while landing heavy counters that left Fulton hesitant to throw. Round after round, Inoue pressed forward, dismantling the champion with clinical efficiency. By the 7th round, Fulton's confidence had evaporated. Inoue unleashed a devastating straight right followed by a left hook that sent Fulton crashing down. Though he managed to rise, he was defenseless against the onslaught that followed. Inoue swarmed him with a ferocious combination until the referee had no choice but to step in. The victory not only crowned Inoue a champion in his new division but also cemented his place as one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters in the world. Perhaps the most emotionally charged fight of Inoue's career came in May 2024 when he defended his titles against Luis Neri. To Japanese fans, Neri was a villain. He had previously defeated Shinsuke Yamanaka, a beloved Japanese champion, in 2 controversial fights marred by failed drug tests and missed weight. His reputation in Japan was that of a cheater, and the crowd that night demanded vengeance. For Inoue, it was not just a title defense but a mission of justice. Early in the fight, however, disaster struck. For the first time in his career, Inoue was sent to the canvas by a sharp counter. The arena gasped in shock, but the monster rose calmly, dusted himself off, and adjusted. From that moment on, the fight transformed into a showcase of his adaptability. Inoue began targeting Neri with blistering combinations, punishing him with both hands and driving him back. By the 3rd round, Neri was visibly wilting under the relentless assault. Inoue mocked him at times, taunting the disgraced fighter as the crowd cheered louder with each landed shot. In the 5th, a series of hooks sent Neri down again, barely surviving the bell. The end came in the 6th round when Inoue unleashed a thunderous right hand that folded Neri against the ropes. The referee waved it off, and the arena erupted. It was not just a win, it was revenge delivered in its purest form. Inoue admitted afterward that Neri's history of cheating had fueled his fire, and he had fought with the explicit intention of destroying him. For Japanese fans, it was a cathartic moment of justice. Yet long before these high-profile bouts, Inoue had already begun building his legend with fights like his defense against Warlito Parinas in 2016. Parinas entered as the #1 contender and carried himself with confidence, but Inoue wasted no time erasing any hopes of an upset. From the opening bell, he overwhelmed Parinas with blistering speed and power, landing heavy shots that had the challenger smiling awkwardly in an attempt to mask the pain. That smile faded quickly as Inoue's relentless attack left him dazed and defenseless. The end came in just 2 rounds, with Parinas unable to withstand the storm. It was another early glimpse of the destructive force that would later terrify the boxing world. Throughout all these fights, a clear pattern emerges. Opponents often come in underestimating Inoue. Some mock his name, some dismiss his record, and others try to physically or verbally disrespect him. Each time, he responds not with words but with violence inside the ring. His style is unique because it blends surgical precision with raw, concussive power. He can dismantle an opponent piece by piece, or he can end matters with a single explosive punch. His calm demeanor contrasts sharply with the devastation he causes, earning him the moniker Monster. For fans, his fights are not just contests but spectacles, performances where arrogance meets its reckoning. What makes Inoue particularly dangerous is his ability to adapt. Against McDonnell, he used explosive aggression. Against Peano, it was timing and a single perfect punch. Against Rodriguez, it was body shots that destroyed a man who had never been down before. Against Fulton, it was technical dominance over a supposed superior technician. Against Neri, it was resilience, vengeance, and a merciless finishing instinct. No matter the scenario, Inoue finds a way to impose his will. He is both predator and tactician, capable of winning in multiple ways. As of now, Naoya Inoue's journey continues, and with each victory, his legend grows larger. He has not only conquered divisions but also conquered the doubts of those who once dismissed him. In Japan, he is already a hero, a national icon who carries the pride of his country into every bout. Around the world, he is recognized as one of the greatest fighters of his generation, admired for his skill, feared for his power, and respected for his dedication. The story of Inoue is not just about boxing but about the spirit of proving oneself against all odds, silencing critics, and punishing arrogance. Each fight is a chapter in a saga of destruction, where those who dared to ridicule him ended up on the canvas, broken by the fists of the monster.